I did. Okay, you do have it. Welcome to I guess your PLC. We won't need devices. You don't have to turn it on or anything. You do have a do now. Your do now is to look at this picture below. And you're just going to describe what is happening in the picture. Use a sticky note. You guys will find your caddies. And pick one of the leveled sentence stems below to describe what's happening in the picture. So you have three choices of the leveled sentence stems. You have one in yellow that says the boy blank. That's mostly for your students who are beginning EB students. A second one says at first the boy blank. So using what's this called? This one, the at first. Forgot what it's called. Anyways, that's for students who could be your, let's see, your intermediate level students. And then the last one is in the first picture, the boy blank, but blank. On the second picture, finally he blank. So that's for students who are a little bit more of advanced or advanced high. You have it now on the board. I'll wait until the colleague walks in. Come on in. Okay, you have a do now on the board. It says, look at the picture below. Describe what is happening in the picture. You're going to use a sticky note in one of the leveled sentence stems below. So the sentence stem is yellow, and yellow is typically for students who are beginning EB students. They typically can't really describe too much on their own. The second sentence stem says, at first the boy blank, but blank, so blank. That second sentence stem is typically for students who are intermediate with their language development. And then the last one is in the first picture, the boy blank, but blank. On the second picture, finally, he blank. And that's usually for students who are advanced or advanced high. Yeah, give you guys a few more minutes. I'm gonna go grab my clipboard. You guys are choosing your sentence stem. I am going to walk around with my response tracker. And I'm going to give you guys feedback on your writing. You chose the middle one. You think you could use a second one? Or is that the one you're most comfortable with? Oh, no, I'm just asking you. I'm just asking you, just in general, if you were a student in this classroom and knowing your level, like just knowing what you can produce, are you just writing into you're comfortable? Could you push yourself to try to complete the book? Yeah, I prefer to. Okay, yeah, try. All right, so, when anybody share out their sentence then, we're gonna go ahead and do a review now. So this is typically done in the classroom, the teacher posts a do now. The teacher will give the students time to complete the do now, and after that, they do a review now. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and review some of the sentences that you guys wrote. Anybody want to share out?
I can go. So I did the third one. So I did, in the first picture, the boy was walking. But then he briefly stopped on the second picture. Finally, he started walking again, around the cat, so he didn't startle it.
Okay, okay, sounds good. Anybody else want to share out? So you chose a third sentence with some more details, okay? Yeah, go ahead. You can walk.
Said that was the third one. He said in the first picture, the boy had 5 smiley faces on the back of his hand, but he dropped 3 of them. Finally, he realized that they would stay in his hand if he put them inside his hand. Look, they stayed. The remaining 2 smiley faces stayed. The cat realized someone was making a video.
Very detailed, Miss Ingram. Thank you. I like your description on that one. Awesome. Okay, and one more participant.
The boy picked up some candy.
Okay, so you chose this first one right here, and that's okay. That's okay. So, for this do now specifically, the teacher gave you 3 sentences. And you did have a choice. Although I modeled, I don't know if you guys noticed, I modeled going to a student who I felt like could elaborate. Wink, wink, I know that she could do more than that, you know, just knowing how she is in my class. So I pushed her to try to do the third one. Okay, and then now Mr. Ingram could be my high student. So I'm like, all right, he can stay there and use that sentence stem. Now I know you could be one of my low students, so I'm gonna be okay with you choosing that sentence stem. But later on, if I do it again, I'll probably push you to the second sentence. So that's how you can kind of differentiate an activity like this. Any questions? Am I missing anything else? Okay. All right, so welcome to our instructional priorities PLC. This is a training that we have been attending for years from Alief ISD, and now we're gonna have you guys learn a few best practices that we've been incorporating. So the district goals is to increase student engagement and participation, and not just in content classrooms, but also in block. Okay. Less teacher talk and more student talking. Okay. All I hear is wow, 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 wow. You guys know that from Charlie Brown. Which is true. Sometimes if you're talking too much, those kids really just tune you out. They really do. It's also I can speak for myself when I was a classroom teacher. I could say the same thing to them, and they won't hear me. But the kid, when I make them turn to talk, and the kid that says the same thing I said, they will listen to that more than they would with me. And I'm like, I just said that. But you know, kids usually learn best if they are with their peers or talking to their peers. Okay, our agenda. We did our do now, review now. We're gonna talk about retrieval practice and a strategy called time, pair, and share. Okay. So all 3 of these strategies right now, those are the 3 best practices that we have been trained to train you guys. Okay, so while we're doing this presentation, you're literally gonna learn about all of these strategies while we're modeling it. Okay. Okay. So what did you notice about the teacher during that do now activity? I'm gonna give you guys 45 seconds to kind of think about it. So 45 seconds. Thumbs up if you already have a thought. Oh, that's 45 seconds to talk. I'm so sorry. You guys have 45 seconds to talk about it. This is the icon. So this is a talking icon that AV5E will post around all PDs. It's also an expectation to have these icons in the classroom to remind you that that's the activity. So thank goodness I had the icon because then I wouldn't have known that you guys are turning and talking. So you're gonna answer this question, I'm sorry. What did you notice about the teacher doing the do now activity? We're gonna spend 45 seconds to share. So you may share with someone at your table, your elbow partner. What was I doing while you guys are doing the do now?
Teacher. Okay, you and that's all I'm her a higher level.
I was gonna say the same thing. She also gave options, which I really like, because kids feel more comfortable when they get to choose, you know? So I like that.
Anybody wanna share out?
I really like giving kids options, like you did with the 3 options, because I feel like it makes them more comfortable and it makes them feel like they're in charge, you know, or have some say so. So I liked how you gave us options.
So that's one thing I did, give you guys options during the do now. Anything else?
Walk around the monitor.
I did walk around and monitor. That's called active observation. That's another best practice. I can also be sure it's only 4 of us. Coach Pete, did you want to add anything?
Well, they said everything that I said.
Okay.
Yeah, you challenge.
You challenged.
I challenged the
You did
student.
walk around, you were monitoring,
Uh-huh.
just monitoring.
Okay. What else did you guys notice?
Oh, that
Okay,
you're right.
I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes, and I literally have your names on this paper while y'all are walking around. I put on here, Parker, I gave her feedback for trying to try the more advanced sentence stem. Coach Pete, I saw her, she did the second sentence, and I put on here, Coach Thompson, he used the first sentence, and then while you guys were just talking right now, I checked off if you were able to say at least one thing you noticed I was doing while you're doing the do now. Okay. Hey, do you want to add anything? Alright, so this is a snippet of all the Alief instructional priorities that we are focusing on this first semester. So the month's focus for August and September, and we are a little behind, that's why we're trying to jam it all today, was setting up organized writing, time, care, and share, 5-2-1, active observation, pathway to monitor, which is similar to that. And then in October, we're focusing on everybody writes, formative assessment, QSSA, active observation, and a response tracker. So that's kind of where we are trying to, those are all the best practices we're trying to implement. Okay, and then the rest we will focus on next time, but notice some of them repeat, especially active observation.
And everybody writes.
And everybody writes, thank you, yes.
It's QSSA.
We'll cover it in,
Okay.
Yeah, we'll mark that.
part of it, yep,
Uh-huh.
yeah, you're on
Yeah.
the right track.
Yes, you are. Missouri, did you have a question?
Oh, what 5-2-1?
Yeah, we're
That's the-
this,
That's your-
Strategy.
That's a strategy.
Okay.
and you guys will see that in action today too. Okay,
So your retrieval practice is when you are thinking about what's practices that you've had in your classroom. So just thinking back at from the beginning of the year until now, how is active observation going in your classroom? So if you see the icon of the light bulb, that means that you are only thinking. So you're doing a silent solo, taking a few seconds to think about how active observation is going in your classroom. How are you doing it? I mean, if it's a work in progress, All of those are valid answers, 'cause sometimes, we're not all up there yet.
And this is just a thinking time, so you don't need to write anything, coach, you guys don't need to write anything, you're just really thinking and reflecting. So that's something you want the kids to do too, is to spend some time thinking before they produce. Think. Thumbs up if you're done reflecting. Okay, now we're gonna give you guys 45 seconds, and I will press timer this time. 45 seconds to write down that thought on a sticky note. That's what I'm going. Yeah, why would it? If you use it, it's gonna work this way, but if you press it here, it'll pop up. Wow. Alright. Okay, so I was hunting, not fishing. I'm gonna go ahead and call on a colleague to share out their thinking. Coach, do you want to share out what?
No problem. So we begin with our word of the week, which is like this vocabulary word. So we meet in the hallway, discuss that word, what it means, how it's used, give examples. Begin with a do now walk. The
Okay.
girls on the inside, boys on the outside, and their expectation is that they're talking about the word and applying it to their everyday lives. And before we do our locomotor movements, we give them an opportunity to share what they spoke to their elbow partner or friend about.
Okay.
Thanks to that word. So the whole time we just kind of watching, making sure that sometimes the conversation has nothing to do with what they're supposed to. And sometimes there is no conversation. And nobody wants to talk to me, coach, or sometimes they do have a good conversation.
But then you're able to notice that because you're actively observing
Absolutely.
the
Right.
behaviors that are happening after you have
Yes.
given your instruction.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's
We're
perfect.
on the right track.
That's the whole reason we need to actively observe, so we know which kids won't talk, and maybe they won't talk as maybe, did you give them a sentence stem? Have you guys tried that?
We have sentence stems up in the gym. For example, right now, integrity is the word that we're using.
Okay.
So the example is, yes, yeah, I mean, it's been coordination, endurance, fitness. This week I went to more of a character education word, so
Yeah.
integrity, doing the right thing no matter who's watching.
Yeah.
So that was kind of what they were discussing. But today was kind of an anomaly day because we had rehearsals and,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah, so next time, try a sentence now.
Give them a sentence.
Yeah,
and
a
then have
sentence
them-
starter, yeah. And sometimes, well, at least in my classroom, when I don't have the time to write a sentence stem, or if I don't have like space to write a sentence stem, I'll just say it out loud repeatedly. Before they start to turn to talk, I'll say, okay, your sentence stem is, I think. Something very simple. There's a lot of other little techniques that you can use, and I can support you with that. Okay, anybody else want to share? And we did that. Okay. What did you notice about the teacher doing the retrieval practice? And what did you notice about it?
I noticed that you were hunting, not fishing.
Okay, I was hunting that.
You said hunting. I don't know.
Oh, well, what did you notice I was doing while you guys were writing?
What they mean about hunting?
Oh,
So it's
Like
a
she already
strategy.
knows who's gonna call on, like, I know Miss Ingles over here has the answer. Instead of, anybody have an answer or something to share?
Okay.
So when you're hunting, you're looking for a specific type of response so that maybe you can say, oh, like, I'm gonna call on you because you use certain vocabulary words for your response. So I could say, can you elaborate a little bit on that? So that the rest of the class could hear. If you're fishing, you're just pretty much calling on somebody, but you're not really, you are looking for for a good response that goes with the question, but it's not anything specific.
So here's another example. You guys use the vocabulary of the day? Is that what you said? While you're walking around actively observing during that conversation, you might have noticed a student that actually uses the word correctly, and could be the example for the rest of the class. So you were hunting, not fishing, heard that, noticed that, and called on that student so that all the kids can learn from that student versus Coach Thompson telling the kids his sentence on integrity. Does that make sense? They were learning it from a student versus learning it from
The teacher.
the teacher.
And sometimes they'll come tell me, and I'm like, okay, well, find your friend, and I want you to share what you share with me with a friend, and then I'll circle back to them, sharing.
Yeah, so in the music world, it could be a student who was using his instrument correctly and could explain, well, I used it correctly because.
And you say, so they showed integrity today towards so and so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so during that whole retrieval practice, making you guys think, remember made y'all think for 30 seconds or so, and then you paired up to speak, and now you're sharing out loud. That was time pair share. That whole activity just now, talking about active observation, that was time, pair, and share. So that's another thing you can use in your classroom to get the kids thinking, writing, sharing, or speaking their thoughts.
Thinking, writing,
I've used at times wait time still. Get them wait time before they start to make an answer when they can think about their answer.
Yeah, just like I gave you guys less than 30 seconds, but ideally you do want to give them some time. 30 seconds to think, and then I gave you guys 45 seconds to write. Imagine if you did not give your kids 45 seconds or even had a time for that. How much would they really produce, right? And then gave y'all time to share out. Okay. So that was time, pair, share, and active observation and retrieval practice. So teacher gives a topic or open-ended question, and then you're gonna find and face your partner. The teacher sets a timer. Partner A shares with a partner B, while partner B monitors, and then timer is set again. And partner B shares with partner A while teacher monitors. If time permits, wrap up by having a few students share with the class. So that's just what I call it. Okay, so notice all three of us have a clipboard with a response tracker. Okay, we're gonna go to response tracker. A response tracker can be a blank piece of paper with anecdotal notes. That's me. That's my teacher brain. That's how I like to do it. Or it could be a sticky note. You could be a teacher that has a sticky note and you're writing down any thoughts or any anecdotal notes you have on your students. Some teachers get fancy and use tables and checklists. That's
I don't have a check. Mine was just the order of the what we were doing, like you're doing now. And then I was just writing. Earlier, I was just writing like what the students were responding. And like, saying like with her, I gave feedback to somebody to use a higher level sentence because I knew that they were capable of doing so things like that.
Okay. And mine was just like a table format, but in here, there are questions, but there's some pre-work involved in it. You really have to, write the sentences and then also the questions that you are having your kids to respond and any possible misconceptions they have, and then track them by putting check mark or just taking anecdotal notes.
So that's three different ways. So technically, hers is kind of like an exemplar. I would say it would be similar to this. Yeah, there's three of us doing it differently, but we know what you guys were responding to and how you guys were responding. We took notes. Okay, so the expectation is that you guys try to incorporate a response tracker while you're actively observing. I know you guys don't pull small group, because typically for the content classroom, they do this so they can identify the kids who they can meet for small group. I know you guys don't really have small group or anything like that, but if there's something alarming, like, because you guys get all the kids, you guys get all the friends that I won't name because I'm recording. If we need to, and you guys attend ours, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so when that information needs to be presented, your tracker is going to be that data for those students.
For speaking for PE,
Yeah.
and a lot of this is part of my T-test goals and things like that. But the functionality piece of it, it's not really like functional for me to walk around with a clipboard because my class is fluid. My class is moving.
Yeah.
I've got it, and then I've got to go from kinder, to second, to fourth, same lesson, but it's adapted to equipment. So, any suggestions for, because having a clipboard is not something that's practical for me.
Right, well, that makes sense. Okay, do you guys take assessments, like a performance-based assessment?
Right now, fitness gram, but it's
Uh-huh.
only third and fourth grade, and it's pretty time consuming. It's tests that we do in the fall and the spring, and that's when we're actually, and I just use my computer, I'm just Excel spreadsheet, I got this. But once again, that's not our typical PE
Good day.
class.
Right.
That's just in the fall and that's just in the spring.
So for that assessment, do you do anything to prepare them to succeed?
Yeah, we teach them how to do the different tests. There's a pacer test for cardio, there's a flexibility test, push-up test. So yeah, we would do that, yeah.
Prior to the assessment, right?
Yes.
Okay, there's moments where you have these, a time to, what's a good word to, I guess, prepare them, an intervention kind of thing before the test. So during that time, you could have a response tracker then. You could notice that little Sammy really can't do jumping jacks. There's something going on there. I don't know how it
Yeah.
works.
No,
No, but I
so-
think his question is more like, he could create the tracker, but just carrying it around when
Oh,
you're
right.
actively with the kids.
And then for like
But-
every class, so we do a fitness gram
Uh-huh.
for third and fourth grade classes, and then one kindergarten class, and we track their locomotor movements, and that's our student growth tracker. Now for them, each student, I have a packet with their beginning of the year, they did the CP1 test. I have to test them 6 times throughout the year. I have a layers class. And it takes a couple of days to kind of get through there. And once I identify who is not successful with something, then I'm able to make notes and things like that. But that's one class. Like, it's not, I don't see how I can do that for everybody.
Right. Okay.
Well, maybe for you guys, it'll work different since you guys have specific. groups
Yeah, that's
y'all are
district standards. Those
focusing
two
on.
things are district standards, the locomotor and the fitness gram.
But that thing you were saying, you taking notes or whatever,
Mhm.
that's technically this.
Yeah, but it's just not for every class.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Okay.
Well, I'm not your supervisor, double check with your supervisor, because they do have that T-test packet. Dr.
Because
Burrow,
then you don't have to have like a checklist for every single student, because like if you have your kindergartners, you kind of notice who
Right.
had
Right.
jump or whatever, so you
Yes.
kind of like, you can make a note of just who did not, as opposed to like, he got it, check mark,
Right,
it's just kind of like, you know.
Just mine straight up is just a blank piece of paper. So like, during the day, pick a class, or maybe if you can try to do it for every class, just find a moment to just write down what you observed that day for those kids who are like, something that's a little alarming.
Gotcha.
Or even like if you could, like the notes on your phone, if it's something that, if you carry your phone with you, then you kind of write a quick note and then transfer over.
Honestly,
like that.
Like alarming definitely will get documented. But I think, because if I was a classroom teacher, I'd have one group or 2 groups of
Mhm.
kids as opposed to every
Yeah.
class except pre-K. I'm not sure what health tech and how they're done, but I think we just do one class. That should be sufficient for this, right?
I think so too, or occasionally, again, he's our supervisor. And also, this is a response tracker, yes, ideally, we would like for you guys to have a response tracker, but really, bite size to this is actively observing. So just as long as you're walking around monitoring the kids and watching
And
what
be
they're
able to
doing.
speak up on what
Yeah,
the kids
what
are
they should be
doing, what they are successful in doing.
Yeah, you're already
Classroom
hitting the
they
mark if
yeah.
you do that. Okay, this is just the next step.
Gotcha.
Okay, setting up, I'm still in, okay, setting up organized writing and 5-2-1. So setting up organized writing is something all the teachers are gonna hear about. And 5-2-1 is another best practice strategy that you guys can incorporate. So I'm gonna model a little bit of both. So right now we're about to do 5-2-1 while I'm talking to you about organized writing. So this is mostly for our content classrooms, but you guys can have it too. And it's gonna be as fancy as what you're seeing here on the board. So we are expecting the classroom teachers to have sticky notes, index cards, pencils, paper, and interactive notebooks in their classroom, someplace accessible, where they can just have the kids get one of these materials and start writing, just like we have it right now for y'all. This is our organized writing thing right here, okay? Writing does not always have to be in notebooks. Use a variety of writing tools. And our focus strategy, this semester at least, I think, is stop and jot. And you guys are all going to get a stop and jot parking lot poster with you today. So stop and jot is another best practice everybody writes technique. And that is Dr. Varro and Smith's focus this year, at least for this first semester. Okay. And I have to talk about this for 5 minutes. So classroom teachers, like I said, can have a whole place for this. I want you to think about your classroom for a little bit. And don't share out loud just yet, but just reflect on your setting. Where could you possibly have an organized writing area? And I'm gonna do a think out loud, because I gotta talk for 5 minutes to do this. Like for me, in my classroom, I had, what did I have? I didn't have patties like this, because the patties drove me crazy. I had bags, like those binder bags, you put in binders holes. I had bags with all of their pencils. I had a little tiny pencil sharpener with a Ziploc bag, because I hated the trash. And then I had sticky notes in there, so when my kids wrote, all they had to do was take out a pencil and pull out a sticky note. Right, that was my way of having the kids write. And then they also had interactive math notebooks, so every time they needed to do their strategies, they pull it out and they're writing in their math notebook. That was my classroom. Okay. Okay. Now, for 2 minutes, and I will set the timer for this one. With that being said, this is your sentence stem that you are going to write. In on a sticky note. In my classroom, I have implemented blank. A strategy I would like to implement in my classroom is blank. Okay, so you write 2 sentences and 1 sticky note. In 2 minutes, try to complete these 2 sentences.
I'm sorry, there's like 6.
All right, I'm going to cold call on two people. I give them a heads up. Alrighty, I'm gonna cold call two people to share out,
Yes, so I have implemented, active monitoring or active observation. I do that by, well, in my tech side of the classroom, I do that by, monitoring when they're on learning.com, making sure that they're not going on different websites, making sure that they are using their homework keys, things like that. And I would like to implement, time pair share because I feel like, I do a lot of the talking a lot of the times, and I would like you said, to have them engage more in talking.
Awesome, thank you for sharing. The other person on the call is Mr. Abram.
In my classroom, I implemented wait time and also I said active monitoring. And the strategy I would like to implement in my classroom is stop and jot. Stop and jot. If you have notebooks, along with instruments, maybe have packets of things they can come, or they can even bring things to bring it to class. So they can stop and jot on things. It may help them to remember a little bit better.
Okay, awesome. Okay, while I was walking around and hovering over your sticky notes, I was looking for some of the best practice strategies that we've mentioned in the past. So the fact that you said active observation, I was like, she knows what that is. Wait time, you know what that is. So that's me assessing and checking for understanding.
Okay.
And I did cold call, I wasn't really supposed to, but I did cold call and I made sure I asked the people that I was gonna cold call, that I was gonna, if it was okay. Because that's the thing with cold call, sometimes you can intimidate a child. So if you read what they wrote or heard what they were saying and then ask them if they're comfortable to share out, that would be ideal. Before you just randomly calling people. Okay, so that was 521 about organized writing. It was 5 minutes of the teacher talking, 2 minutes of you guys talking, and then 1 minute of the teacher assessing. Okay.
This PowerPoint is gonna be on the shortcut.
But we're not gonna take notes. All right, now we're gonna move into stop and jot, NQ-SSA. So that's how I actually say that. Q-SSA. I was all like QSSA. Oh, sorry. Q-SSA. We're gonna watch a video. It is a little bit faster. Okay. So try your best to kind of listen. And she's British. So she has heavy accent. Okay. Her name is Emily Fleming. She is a 4th grade reading classroom, and she is going to be incorporating a lot of best practice techniques. So while you guys are watching it, your question will be, what systems did Emily implemented to gather data during independent work that will allow her to work efficiently to capture her students' thinking? So you're gonna just watch what she does to collect data. And if there's anything else that you want to stamp that she was doing, that's fine. You can talk about that too, or write about that too. Okay, we're gonna watch her. Have a sticky note ready for you. Oh, I gotta press it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Can you look for me? Thank you, Annie. Thank you, Poppy. Thank you. Checking me. Okay, in a moment, you're going to stop and jot. What could be the reason as to why Homily is so worried about Pod? I want you to use the keywords dangerous. What's so dangerous about Pod's job that's making Homily so worried? Humans. Why are humans a reason for Homily to be worried and survive? Who might not survive? Why is that making Homily so worried? When I say go, you have 3 minutes to stop and jot. Remember our keywords? 3 minutes. Go. Up in 3, and down, 5 plus flat, in 2, and 1. Thank you, Ruby. Beautiful stars. Thank you, Iridia. Wait a minute, everybody's iPad to be flat. Okay, when I say go, you have 1 minute to turn and talk to your partner. Partner 1, share your thoughts as to why Hummerly might be worried about pod. 30 seconds, go. Step on him, or have any steps on him. Good job, yeah, super. Okay, very nice stars. In 3, thank you, Henry. 2, thank you, Ernie. And 1. Okay, I'm going to call Paul. What could be the reason as to why Hummerly is so worried about pod? Chantal. So Jonathan come back is a borrower for A, and that's dangerous. Why is that dangerous? Can you structure answer for me, Jackie?
Okay, sorry, I'm gonna go ahead and pause it, because I feel like she's showing up, and just for the sake of time, we're gonna pause it. And you guys have access to this video if you wanna watch it later. Okay, so we're gonna do a QSSA activity based on that video. Okay, your question was again, what simple data gathering system did Emily use to implement during independent work to efficiently capture her students' thinking? Okay, that is your question. And you're gonna have 30 seconds to think about that question. Something. Okay, now you're gonna stop and jot one of the implemented system to gather data that I observed was blank. Another system I observed in this video was blank. You're gonna stop and jot, so that means you got a sticky note. And you're gonna write down these 2 sentence stems, complete them. And I'm gonna give you. Or does it have a time after that? Do you want to guys remember? Let's do 2 minutes. Give you 2 minutes to complete the 2 sentence stems. And when you are done writing the 2 sentence stems, I need you to go ahead and stand up and push in your chair. Yeah. Oh, okay, so I'm gonna talk so tired. Just kidding. When you guys are ready, go ahead and stand up and push in your chair. Yeah, bring your sticky notes with you. You guys are gonna need it. So make sure you're holding your sticky note. I want you all to stand up. I noticed that I'm still actively observing, but now I'm not using my response tracker because that could get redundant, right? We're not gonna use it so many times. I'm still actively observing, but not using my response tracker. Okay, you're gonna find a different person you spoke to earlier. So I know you guys were elbow partners, so find another elbow partner or find another partner to share. And you guys can decide who is partner A and partner B. Partner A will have 30 seconds to speak. After 30 seconds, the other partner will have the other 30 seconds to share as well. And I won't put the timer for this one. So Coach Thompson and Mr. Ingram. Okay.
I said earlier about stop and go, and I think
The days, mentally is way before five. Was that thing something? Thinking, but I think like that, maybe I'm not measure.
Give 30 seconds.
Was that? Okay, now the other 30 seconds is the second partner or just the partner meets? You guys both shared already?
Yeah.
You guys both share already?
Yeah.
Okay, now, I'm gonna cold call and darn, did not get to and fish for this one. But I'm gonna go ahead and cold call someone to share out after she speaks. I'm good. Okay, Coach Pete, do you mind sharing out what you wrote?
I wrote one of the implemented systems to gather data I observed was active learner.
Okay, anybody else want to share? One more, I'll do one more quick call, Mr. Ingram.
One of the implemented systems I gathered that observes questioning and then also parent share.
She did do a lot of parent share, yes, she did, okay, awesome. Okay, so that was stop and jot. And QSSA, Q triple SA, but the stop and jot was you guys being asked an open-ended question, which was that one. And you were given 30 seconds to think, 2 minutes to write, and then 1 minute to share. That is stop and jot right there, okay? This is what Dr. Burrow's focus is, main focus. And then I also modeled Q triple SA. I started with a question, provided you guys with a stem, gave you guys a signal, right, when you were done writing, you have to stand up. And then you turn to you had a turn and talk, or you shared with an elbow partner. And then I assessed by asking a few students to share out. Okay, noting that you guys said something that was clear that Miss Emily Fleming did, and you guys caught on. Okay, overall, the purpose of everybody write is, now you have a light bulb, that means you're going to have some think time. Thumbs up when you're ready. The overall purpose of everybody writes is, why do you think we're doing this? Why is the whole district doing this? It comes on your chest when you have a thought. I'll go ahead and share with a friend next to you. Sorry, I've been with kids. With the colleague next to you. I modeled in the classroom like twice today, so everyone's a friend. We'll go ahead and share with your colleague. What do you think the overall purpose of everybody writes is?
I think it's a lost art. I mean, AI and texting and actually using your handwriting, thoughts to pen and paper or something that's
I think it's
Yeah. All right. Okay, didn't say to share here, but I like what you said though, Coach. You said, can you repeat it? Sorry, go ahead.
It says writing your thoughts is somewhat of a lost art between AI, ChatGPT, spit stuff out, or just even the lack of handwriting skills from students.
Yeah.
Now you're reinforcing both of it, your thoughts to the pen and paper, your handwriting skills, and it's something that is necessary, but we're losing it.
Right. A lot of the kids growing up now are so they react so quickly. You know, they're not giving themselves time to pause, think about what you're gonna do, think about what you're gonna say. So yes, okay, here's just another reminder of possible response trackers. And these are all the instructional strategies that we did today. that we've modeled today, along with additional ones that were embedded in there. You're gonna get a copy of this in your box today or right now?
Right.
Oh, right now? Before you walk out, it's laminated, just post it somewhere in your classroom just to remind yourself that I'm gonna try to implement Stop and Drop today. I'm gonna try 5-2-1 today, and then these are the steps. Okay, and then
The district icons.
the district icons that I did not do a very good job showing you guys, but you will also get a copy of this, that you can use occasionally to remind yourself and the students that, you know what, I gotta get them to write. They're gonna write it this activity. Okay. All right, on 2 sticky notes, this is your exit ticket as well as your stop and drop activity. On 2 sticky notes, write 2 commitments. Yes, we are asking you guys to try to commit to this using the sentence stems below, and please write your name. So the first sentence stem is, my first commitment is to implement active observation by Blake. My second commitment is to implement stop and jot by Blake. No, more of like the detail. By
having students, blah, blah, blah.
right, yes. And then you're gonna post it on the stop and jot poster before you leave. While you guys are working, so Dr. Bro mentioned, how many sticky notes did you guys go through today? Just like in this little mini PD.
I probably did like 10.
Okay, yeah, and we've only been with you guys for maybe 45 to 50 minutes. And I got you guys to write a little, right? I didn't make all my paragraphs, but I got you to write a lot. So that is not only the Alief, what's that, Alief phrase this year, but it's something that we are expecting our students to do. Write a little, but a lot. No, 1 or 2. 2. No, 1. I know, but they get 2 classes.
Yeah.
It makes sense why you should.
Yeah, there's some classes in the gym.
So different one.
Yeah, that's what we need to.
Yeah, I think
Right.
Separate ones because
So one for, one and the second.
second sem will only one poster and the other one will be.
I'm just write your name, guys. And you will get these sticky notes back after this week. Which one? We don't have to respond to bite size, okay, so if you just want to now if you're actively observing, your pathway during the day. Part there.
Okay.
And then we'll go over the. Sound good, thank you. Don't get your name, thanks. Oh, what's that? That's. That's perfect. Yeah. That's perfect. And you can get them sticky notes and they can write down that answer. And you know, up to. So. Be a stickler on.
Same thing.
Thank you all for eliminating those. Well, you're opening the door is perfect, honestly, since you're not writing through this yet. The bite-sized steps to this is you're getting them to write that answer. Honestly, regardless of their spelling, regardless if they're writing their discussions, get them through. And for primary, they can't write very well, so they need to go off.
Yeah, sure. Why keep?
No, you'll put it right there in the front one. And then you'll get them, after this week, when Dr. Burrow has registered everyone's name.
Some people put their names.
Yes, it's being recommended, yes, please. Oh, here, don't even write it.
You have these for tomorrow?
No, it's a good one.
Oh.
Oh, they can
Go to treat that body. Hope you guys learned something.
Absolutely. It is 3:20.
Yeah, you can hang out, learn something. No, it's okay,
And so I have to pick up spin.
Oh, I don't, well, I did text Dr. Burrow about that, and you might have to get someone else to do it, but if not, if you can grab them and see if they're already there. I don't know if you responded to me.
Are you gonna stop? You stop there.
Oh, he said, can you, we've been handling that, can you think you can still get Nyla and Nina?
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna see whether anybody.
Okay.